The incident occurred on the afternoon of January 21 in Fayette County, Georgia. After receiving a report about a red SUV stolen from the city of Newnan, Lieutenant Aiken and his team immediately began patrolling the area in search of the vehicle. Upon spotting the target speeding past the intersection of Brooks, Woolsey, and Antioch roads, the patrol car immediately activated its emergency lights to signal a stop. Instead of complying, the driver slammed on the accelerator, turning the encounter into a high-speed, life-or-death chase. The vehicle rapidly accelerated, quickly exceeding speeds of 115 miles per hour, approximately 185 kilometers per hour. On the narrow, two-lane rural road, the reckless driver swerved repeatedly, forcing oncoming vehicles to veer onto the shoulder to avoid a head-on collision. Realizing that the out-of-control speed could spell disaster for other road users, the police team was preparing to call off the pursuit when an unexpected incident occurred. As it entered a curve near the National Highway 85 interchange at excessive speed, the SUV completely lost traction. It skidded onto the grassy verge, plowed violently into an earthen ditch, and tumbled through the air multiple times before landing in a completely mangled state.
Don't move at all.
The 17-year-old was immediately booked into the Fayette County Jail without bond. He faces a series of serious charges: vehicle theft, high-speed flight from police, reckless driving, driving without a license, running a stop sign, and providing false information to law enforcement. His youthful impulsiveness and disregard for the law have resulted in a harsh, unforgettable lesson behind bars. What are your thoughts on this teenage driver's reckless behavior?
The incident began on a Saturday afternoon in Oklahoma City. A patrol officer spotted a red Dodge Challenger with temporary tags performing donuts and burning rubber, creating a disturbance in the neighborhood. When the police cruiser activated its emergency lights and siren to signal a stop, the driver did not immediately comply, but instead slowly turned onto 30th Street. There, he paused for a few seconds, not to surrender, but to allow the woman in the passenger seat to step out safely. The moment the passenger door closed, the reckless driver slammed on the gas. The engine's roar tore through the air as the car sped away.
Stop. He's taking off.
The muscle car accelerated furiously, surging past 100 km/h through a crowded urban area. Police sirens wailed incessantly during the high-speed chase, but recklessness always comes at a steep price. As it barreled toward the intersection at Agnew Avenue, the driver completely ignored two stop signs. Without slowing down, the Challenger slammed head-on into two vehicles that were obeying traffic laws. The violent impact sent the car spinning away. Its front end was utterly mangled, reduced to a heap of twisted metal before it finally skidded to a halt by the roadside.
Your incident has been updated.
This might be Yeats. Hey, man.
The police officer immediately drew his weapon and approached the scene, which was strewn with debris.
Stuck in the car.
The Dodge's cabin was completely crushed.
Hey,
The door
can you see
was
him?
jammed shut, leaving the driver trapped inside. In a state of sheer panic, the man screamed, "Please don't shoot me." Following police orders, he was forced to use his last reserves of strength to
Can you
belly
get out?
crawl out onto the road through the shattered rear of the vehicle.
Can you get out?
Writhing in pain and
Which
humiliation,
side you getting
the
out on?
reckless driver lay face down
All
on the
right, make
pavement
sure
and
your
could
hands
only
are
utter,
empty.
"That was the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life,"
Is
the
this
officer
Jarmay?
replied coolly. "I couldn't agree more. We've been looking for
Is
you
this
for
Jarmay?
weeks."
That was the dumbest shit I did in my life.
I agree.
Yes.
That was the dumbest shit
I
I did in
agree.
my life. My hand's right here.
I see him, man.
I'm hurt.
I know. There's a lot. I can't really do a lot of
Is
grabbing.
there any kids?
Hold on. Finish climbing out, bud.
I'm right here. Don't hurt
I
me,
know.
please.
Crawl forward. Keep going. Keep going forward on your belly. Keep going.
Behind my back?
Yes. I got IMSA on the way, okay? Yep.
Please don't hurt.
Hey, I got IMSA on the way. Where are you hurting at?
The individual was quickly identified as 36-year-old Jeremy
Is there one
Yates.
place you can say that hurts the worst?
His desperate attempt to flee was driven by more than just an illegal burnout. He was actually evading 3 outstanding felony warrants. Furthermore, he was driving with a suspended license and had no insurance coverage for the vehicle. Now, in addition to the existing warrants, Yates faces a host of new charges. High-speed flight from police, resulting in injury, reckless driving, running a stop sign, and driving with a suspended license. His beloved sports car is now nothing more than a heap of scrap metal, and he himself will pay the price with years behind bars. Never let reckless driving cost you your freedom.
I'm gonna grab your feet and spin you this way. All right. Can you stand? If I put your feet under you? All right. I'll push you forward if you're ready. Okay. Put this one out in front of you. Are you sure you're not hurting anywhere else? Like nothing broken, just soreness? Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right, man. Let's just walk over here.
An ATV went head-to-head with an Arkansas State Police patrol vehicle, thinking he could weave his way to freedom. The driver soon realized it was the costliest mistake of his day. On the afternoon of August 7, 2026, Officer Ronald Weiss Jr. spotted a red Polaris Scrambler 80 carrying 2 people traveling illegally along the shoulder of Highway 114. When he activated his signal for the vehicle to stop, the driver refused to comply, instead making a sharp turn onto Freedom Road and accelerating to flee. The off-road vehicle kept accelerating from 50 to 60 miles per hour on a narrow country road with a 40 miles per hour limit. At that speed on an ATV lacking a protective frame, a single botched maneuver could result in a catastrophic accident.
Speed 55. Still headed east, speed 60. Stand by, I won't be stopped. Stop the four-wheeler, stop it.
Realizing a police car was tailing him closely and his girlfriend seated behind him was panicking and urging him to stop, Kearney voluntarily pulled over and raised his hands in surrender.
Get on the ground. Get off the four-wheeler. Get on the ground. Now. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Lay down. Lay on your face. Shut up. Ma'am, get off. Get off. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. I seen you trying to stop. Get on the ground. Arms out. Arms out. What are you thinking, dude?
Timothy Kearney was arrested and faces a series of serious charges at Lincoln County Jail. Felony fleeing to elude an officer, illegal operation of an ATV on a public roadway, reckless driving, driving with a suspended license alcohol-related, and violation of an ignition interlock device requirement.
Get up. Step over there.
Yeah, she asked me to stop.
I see her.
It was not her fault.
You got anything on you?
My phone in my front pocket.
24 pound, but if I'm 10-15, you clear.
After being rammed and sent spinning 4 times at speeds exceeding 170 kilometers per hour, leaving both the front and rear of the vehicle completely wrecked, the driver stubbornly refused to stop. In a desperate bid to escape, he took the reckless step of jumping out of the car and sprinting across the path of oncoming traffic speeding along the highway. What exactly unfolded during this heart-pounding pursuit by the Sandy Springs, Georgia police? Let's take a look at the events as they happened. The incident unfolded when Sandy Springs police took over the pursuit of a gray Kia Optima driven by Jared Juwan Pierce, which had crossed into their jurisdiction from a neighboring area. On Highway GA 400, Pierce completely disregarded emergency lights and sirens, repeatedly forcing his way between lanes and flooring the accelerator to speeds exceeding 110 miles per hour, turning the busy highway into a deadly racetrack.
Sure, 5-3, I'm coming up on you.
Charlie 6-5, good hit, crashed into the wall.
Right here.
Charlie 6-5, continuing 400 southbound, got out of the pit.
The collision caused the car to spin sideways, but incredibly, the driver regained his balance and sped away. One pit wasn't enough. The suspect's stubbornness forced the police to prepare for a second intervention.
Charlie 6-5, we continue 400 south, truck pitted again. Charlie 6-5, good pit, good pit. He's gonna take off on me again. Charlie 6-5, good third pit.
Charlie, are you with him? Yeah.
Charlie 6-5, he took off again.
You stay in mainline?
Exited to Glen Ridge. Southbound. Another good pit. 4 on southbound Glen Ridge. I believe he's going to be done now. Nope, he's still gone. TRV block him, TRV block.
When his vehicle could no longer move, Pierce refused to surrender. He flung open the door and made a desperate dash into the middle of the highway lanes, weaving between moving pickup trucks and SUVs. Police officers immediately drew their weapons and gave chase on foot. After a frantic flight of just a few hundred meters, officers closed in on Pierce, tackled him to the pavement, and forced his arms behind his back to handcuff him. Fortunately, this high-speed chase and frantic escape attempt resulted in no injuries to bystanders. Jared Juwan Pierce was immediately taken into custody and faces a series of serious charges: felony fleeing from police, false imprisonment, reckless driving, driving with a suspended license, resisting a public officer, and numerous other dangerous traffic violations. Defying the law never leads to a good outcome.
507.
On the afternoon of July 26, Thurston County and Yelm police spotted a rider on a sport bike and immediately signaled for him to stop. Ignoring the order, the reckless rider gunned the throttle and sped wildly along SR 507 at speeds exceeding 120 miles per hour, constantly weaving through traffic.
Still 80 miles an hour, going through right near southbound.
Copy, 80 miles per hour through right near southbound.
Looks like medium traffic at this point.
Medium traffic.
Guardians will over formulating a plan.
Pull over right now! Pull over right now!
After a wild, high-speed flight, the suspect turned toward a densely populated residential area along Vale Road. Recognizing the risk that he might cause a catastrophic accident involving innocent bystanders or use a firearm to resist arrest, officers decided to take decisive action. A patrol car accelerated to pull ahead, coordinating with the vehicle behind to form a pincer movement and cut off his path.
Copy. No one comes onto a James block on Vale Road. Go ahead.
9365, trying to call him. He dropped his cell phone.
With all escape routes blocked, the reckless rider made a desperate move to steer straight into the roadside grass ditch to break through. However, at high speed, the slippery grass caused the motorcycle to instantly lose control. It plowed violently into the ground, flinging the rider a considerable distance. The police repeatedly shouted orders, "Stay down, don't move!" The brutal fall had completely extinguished the reckless rider's aggression. Officers quickly closed in, neutralized any threat, and tightly secured the suspect's hands.
Do not move, you understand?
Having twice successfully evaded Illinois State Police, this 23-year-old criminal felt confident he could continue his rampage. He recklessly threw his vehicle into reverse, smashing into the front of a police cruiser in the middle of a field to carve out an escape route. However, a decisive counter-maneuver by another patrol car sent his vehicle flipping into a grassy ditch, where it burst into a fierce blaze. How did this heart-pounding pursuit across 2 Wisconsin counties unfold? Find out right now.
1.364 coming up behind you at M.
Early in the afternoon on May 8, the Fond du Lac County Sheriff's Office received an alert regarding a vehicle stolen from Illinois that was traveling on Interstate 41. Notably, the vehicle had successfully evaded police twice the previous week. Upon spotting the target, officers initiated a high-risk traffic stop. Initially, the vehicle complied and pulled over to the side of the road. But as the officers stepped out and ordered the driver to raise his hands and kill the engine, the reckless driver instantly floored the accelerator and vanished into the flow of traffic on the highway. The vehicle sped into Winnebago County, repeatedly weaving through the emergency lane at breakneck speed while ignoring all emergency lights and sirens.
Vehicle took off. Vehicle took off.
101, 1080, took off northbound. Left lane, traffic, medium. Road conditions are dry, no traffic. Heading east on Z Zebra right now. Get a chance to take them off the road, do it. Then my 1050.
The pursuit continued to the intersection of Z Road and Clay Road, where the vehicle lost control and careened into a vast open field. Observing the open terrain, the sergeant's cruiser closed in, preparing to execute a pit maneuver. However, in a reckless move, the driver suddenly shifted into reverse and floored the accelerator, ramming head-on into the patrol car and leaving it severely damaged and completely immobilized. Taking advantage of the chaos, the vehicle plowed across a ditch and back onto Clay Road to flee. Just then, a second patrol car arrived at high speed. Without hesitation, the officer executed a precise head-on collision, knocking the vehicle backward into the ditch. The violent impact sent the car flipping through the air before it crashed back to the ground.
101 will take EMS up here. I don't know what the intersection is. We ended up ramming the vehicle. It rolled over in the ditch. 2 patients. Z and Clay Road.
I copy. We advise Winnebago they are sending EMS to Z and Claire.
The driver was identified as 23-year-old Anthony Wells, a notorious figure in Illinois police records, flagged as armed and extremely dangerous. At the time of his arrest, Wells was found to be concealing a large quantity of ecstasy. He was jailed on multiple charges, including fleeing from police, 2 counts of first-degree recklessly endangering safety, resisting an officer, and drug possession. His girlfriend, who was in the vehicle with him, also faced legal consequences for complicity and possession of illicit substances. This third escape attempt ended with a burnout vehicle and a multi-year prison sentence. What are your thoughts on the decisive actions taken by the Wisconsin police? The incident occurred around 6:30 p.m. on April 13 in Dayton, Ohio. While patrolling the area of Lyndale and East Siebenthaler Avenue, a police officer spotted and positively identified the driver of a sedan as a suspect wanted for murder. Sensing he was about to be exposed, the driver, without a moment's hesitation, floored the accelerator and sped into narrow side streets in a desperate attempt to shake off the authorities.
Coming up to Kiwi, red light, turning southbound on Kiwi. Yeah, southbound on Kiwi. Traffic still light, speed 50, come up to standard. Through Stanley, heading up towards Leo.
The high-speed chase was incredibly tense. The suspect recklessly changed lanes, crossed the Kiowee Bridge, and wove through a series of busy intersections during rush hour. Disregarding the danger to other road users, he repeatedly cut off trucks and passenger cars, forcing police to constantly relay his location so that nearby units could coordinate to intercept him. After a tense, high-speed pursuit lasting over 5 minutes, an opportunity arose when the vehicle turned onto Davis Road near Massey Street. Noticing the vehicle slowing down to turn into the entrance of a workshop, the Dayton patrol car immediately surged forward and executed a precise pit maneuver to block its path. Another police unit quickly moved in to pin the vehicle's left side, effectively boxing it in and leaving the suspect with no escape route.
He's going to lose it here. His car damn is going to cut the pit.
Keep your hands up.
We're getting the driver out now. Taking the hands. Your hands too up.
The officers quickly opened the door, hauled the 47-year-old driver out, and pinned him against the hood. His initial aggression vanished completely. The murder suspect repeatedly groaned about pain in his arm and pleaded with the police.
My elbow! My elbow just broke! My elbow just broke! My elbow broke! My elbow!
During an emergency search of the vehicle, police seized a loaded handgun, loose ammunition, narcotics, and drug paraphernalia. A woman accompanying the suspect was also detained for questioning. The 47-year-old suspect was subsequently taken to a hospital for a medical evaluation before being booked into the Montgomery County Jail. In addition to the pending murder charge, he faces a series of serious offenses, including high-speed flight from police, illegal possession of weapons and narcotics, and reckless driving endangering the public. On the morning of March 15 in Flagler County, Florida, a woman with a bruised face and swollen eyes rushed frantically into a Circle K store, locked herself in the restroom, and begged the staff to call 911 to save her life. The victim recounted a harrowing ordeal. She had been abducted from Sanford by her abusive boyfriend, Corarise Hill, who had brutally beaten her with the butt of a gun and repeatedly held the weapon to her head, threatening to kill her throughout the journey. Seizing a moment when the car needed refueling, she took a risk and slipped inside to raise the alarm. As soon as a police patrol car appeared at the gas pumps, Hill immediately shifted gears and sped off driving against traffic straight onto Palm Coast Parkway in a bid to escape.
Disregard that. FHP is 97 on
4 out, 4 back to FHP.
You're passing the 265.
While fleeing, the suspect ran a red light, drove recklessly, and even collided with a civilian vehicle without slowing down. The car sped onto Interstate 95 South, with the speedometer quickly climbing to 120 miles per hour. As the suspect's vehicle crossed into Volusia County, the Florida Highway Patrol immediately appeared, pulling ahead of the pack to prepare for a decisive interception. Sensing the risk that the suspect was armed and poised to cause a traffic catastrophe, the FHP patrol vehicle pulled up alongside and delivered the decisive blow. A precise pit maneuver broke the vehicle's traction, whipping the Chevrolet's rear end around, denting the bumper, and sending it sliding onto the roadside grass in New Smyrna Beach.
Get out the car, hands up! Get out the car, hands up! Hands up!
A background check revealed that Corarise Hill had an extensive criminal history, including 10 prior arrests and a prison stint for first-degree attempted murder and armed robbery, and was currently on probation. Following this brutal incident, Hill was booked into the Volusia County Jail without bond, facing a series of serious charges from 3 law enforcement agencies: aggravated domestic violence, kidnapping, false imprisonment, high-speed fleeing and eluding, hit and run, and resisting an officer. The woman's bravery and the decisive response of Florida law enforcement averted a horrific tragedy. Please hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel to follow more heart-pounding cases.